Hello, today I'm going to review Kung Fu Panda 3. Now, I liked the first two Kung Fu Panda movies. The first one was fantastic. Good story, wonderful animation, great characters, and a good respect for Chinese culture. The second one was also fantastic, especially we get to know Po's backstory and an amazing villain, Lord Shen, the evil peacock, voiced by Gary Oldman. The Kung Fu Panda franchise, in my opinion, is the best franchise DreamWorks Animation has ever made. There's even a spin-off TV series called Kung Fu Panda Legends of Awesomeness, but I'm not really too crazy about that. So I became very excited to see Kung Fu Panda 3 when it was first announced, and also worried at the same time. I was worried because first being is that it's getting released on the month of January, and we all know that January is not a good month for movies, not counting the ones that had a limited release or ones that are made in other countries. And second is that DreamWorks Animation is starting to go downhill in this era. So I finally went to see this film with my uncle in 3D, and I actually think this film is fantastic, and I'm going to tell you why I think this way. The story of this film took place after the events of Kung Fu Panda 2 and the spin-off show Legends of Awesomeness. It starts off where now that Po is the Dragon Warrior, Master Shifu has decided that Po should become the next Kung Fu Master. However, he felt that being a Kung Fu Master is tough. He later found and encounters his real father at Po's adopted father's noodle shop. So Po and his adopted father has joined Po's biological father on a journey to a village where they can meet other pandas. Suddenly, the evil spirit beast warrior named Kai has come to the mortal world where he can have revenge on all of China. When Po realized he, Shifu, and the Furious Five is facing a new threat, Po must train his biological father and the rest of the pandas how to do kung fu to fight their new enemy. I think the story of this film was good, even though there are some silly moments. Now moving on to the animation. The animation in this film is just as amazing as the previous Kung Fu Panda films. I really do like how they animate the characters by their facial expression and how they act, move, and behave. The designs of the buildings and landscapes in China I think are very unique. It's interesting to know that they used both 3D animation and traditional animation at the same time. The spirit world looks very creative, especially the floating rocks, the beautiful trees, a clear water, and the ruined cities. The action scenes in this film I think are also well animated, especially how the characters do all those martial art moves. Now let's get to the cast who voiced those characters as well as the directing music. Jack Black as always did an excellent job doing the voice of Po the Panda. Po, even though starts off as a man-child who was so interested in Kung Fu and later becomes the Dragon Warrior that is now good at doing Kung Fu, in this film he must find a way to become a Kung Fu master and face a new threat. Returning from the previous films are Master Shifu voiced by Dustin Hoffman, Tigress voiced by Angelina Jolie, Viper voiced by Lucy Liu, Monkey voiced by Jackie Chan, Mantis voiced by Seth Rogen, Crane voiced by David Cross, and Mr. Ping voiced by James Hong. All still did a great job. Master Shifu is a Kung Fu master who teaches students to learn Kung Fu. Tigress, Viper, Monkey, Mantis, and Crane are all the Furious Five who used to make fun of Po from the first film and later became allies with Po to protect the world from evil. Mr. Ping is a goose who was Po's adopted father, who owns the noodle shop. When Mr. Ping met Po's biological father, he was jealous at first, but later started to get along with him and became allies. Also returning from the previous films are Grandmaster Oogway, voiced by Randall Du Kim, and Master Croc, voiced by Jean-Claude Van Damme. Grandmaster Oogway is now living in the spirit world. It was cool to see Master Croc again from the second film, but he didn't really do a lot in this film. We are also introduced to new characters like Po's biological father, voiced by Bryan Cranston, Mei Mei voiced by Kate Hudson, and the rest of the pandas. Bryan Cranston, I think, did a nice job doing the voice of Poe's biological father, who was searching for his son and finally found him. He later joined Poe and Mr. Ping to the Panda Village, as well as joining Poe to fight a new villain. Mei Mei is one of those pandas that was just being attractive. Now let's get to the new villain, Kai, voiced by J.K. Simmons. Kai is a spirit beast who used to be Master Oogway's friend until he went dark and wanted more power. He has the ability to steal other warriors' chi. I have to say, Kai is both menacing and funny at the same time, though not as threatening as Tai Lung, the snow leopard from the first film, and Lord Shen from the second film. It's very interesting to know that this film is directed by both Jennifer Nelson, who directed the second Kung Fu Panda film, and that Italian director. I must say, they both did a great job. The music composed by Hans Zimmer sounds very exciting and beautiful to listen to. Overall, I had a wonderful time seeing this movie. I enjoyed Kung Fu Panda 3 the same way I enjoyed Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2. It was also one of the best DreamWorks animated sequel I had ever saw. I think this film did a better job than Shrek the Third, which was the weakest of the Shrek movies. If you're a fan of DreamWorks, go give it a watch. So I get this movie 4.5 out of 5 nuclear bombs.